Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Timsy Naked Tarot and welcome to Signs on Sunday, where I go through the alphabet, picking various different things which you could see as signs and then pick through them and interpret what those signs could possibly be and mean to you, the viewer. Okay, well, I'll be honest today. I couldn't think of an animal beginning with X, so I had to use Google, and I eventually settled on, well, it was a bird. It's called an Xeme. Xeme. Okay, and basically it's a type of seagull. Okay, it's more commonly known as the Sabine gull. They spend the bulk of their time in the Arctic Circle, so you'd be kind of lucky-ish to see one, especially if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. You'd be extremely lucky to see one. They do come south during the winter months, so you might see them sort of mid parts of Europe, maybe sort of southern Canada and places like that. Okay, basically they look like a seagull, except for they have a black hood and an orange tip on their beak. One of their common feeding habits is to follow seals or whales and pick off the scraps. Or you may possibly see them, because obviously you probably won't be out at sea following whales feeding. So you may have a chance of seeing them in tidal pools or on mud flats as well during the winter months. Okay. So, all that being said, my first thoughts on this for signs, and it's not just this particular type of seagull or anything like that, it's more of seabirds and gulls in general, is a message from sort of a far afield or a foreign place or something like that. Because birds are quite often seen as carriers, bringers of messengers, harbingers of messages. Okay, and obviously seagulls or sea-going birds tend to spend a lot of time away and they come back, so that they're bringing messages from far afield. Okay. Traditionally, you would also find them sort of along coastlines and harbours as well, not just these gulls, but seabirds in general. And again, you would expect to get foreign messages coming through those sort of places from coastlines and harbours. So that's why I feel like the first sign for these particular birds are that foreign messaging. Okay, after reading a little bit about the Xeme and sort of finding out what they are, what they're about, because obviously I can't sort of formulate what I feel the signs might be coming from them if I don't really know anything about them. So I had to do a little bit of research on the actual bird itself first. So after reading about them, the next one I got was isolation. And not being isolated, because they live in groups, they live in colonies like most seagulls and seabirds do. But it's the fact that they live separated from like everywhere. They live in the Siberian tundra and the Arctic Circle. There's not much in the way of anything else around. So living in an isolated place, it could be another sign. So maybe you're happy being isolated, being by yourself, being in your small group. Maybe you don't need a big, massive social network or something like that. Or maybe it's telling you that you need to branch out and get a new social network. Maybe. The last thing what come to my mind when thinking about this, not this particular goal, but again, it's like more goals in general, is salvation. Okay, when sailors used to be lost at sea, if they found seagulls, they got happy that it was their salvation. It meant a coastline was nearby, if not a coastline, at least some sort of small island where they could possibly set anchor, repair the ship, get provisions, and then carry on with their voyage. Okay, so the fact that seagulls and gulls are close to land normally gives it a sign of salvation. So they're my sort of three signs I sort of thought for myself what the gulls might mean. So then I went onto the internet to have a look what the internet said. So they're my personal ones, and I thought, yeah, this would be about goals in general, and it wasn't really about that specific Xeme goal. It's just or Xeme goal. It's just goals in general. And yeah, so one of the first things what came up was their call. The goal's call tends to be loud, and this could be taken as a sign to speak up and say your piece. Okay, don't sit quietly and mumble. Speak what's on your mind. And a goal could also be a sign telling you your target is not quite where it's meant to be. If you think seagulls, they swim over the sea, yeah, or over water, and they dive in to catch their fish. Now, because of refraction of light, where the fish looks like it isn't actually where the fish is. Okay, so a seagull has learnt this over generations, and it knows that it has to dive in just in front of the fish or just behind the fish, depending on their angle of attack and the refraction of the water. So it could be telling you that your approach to a subject or a situation could be a little bit off if you're getting signs of goals, and perhaps you need to just readjust sort of where you think the target is to where the target actually is, because it may appear in a different place. Goals are often make use of our waste. They use it to make nesting materials. They even forage for food in our landfill sites and things. Either way, they are upcyclers. They recycle and upcycle our waste into other things and are very resourceful. So this could be a sign that maybe Spirit is telling you to make do with what you have. Or it could also be telling you that you have actually everything you need to tackle the situation you are facing. Okay. Goals, as I mentioned earlier, when we were discussing the actual goal itself, it tends to live in groups or colonies, and this could be a sign that pointing you to form a better neighborhood around yourself, a better society around yourself, and strengthen the connections you have already put out into the neighborhood. Get to know your neighbors a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know, maybe plan and put forth a garden party or something like that, and have your neighbors come around where you can get to meet them and get to know them, obviously through offering food and drink. It's always a good way to get complete and utter random strangers to come and partake in celebrations and things. Obviously, be careful. You know, we're not talking about complete random strangers. We're talking about your neighbours, the people you should really know anyway. Okay. As mentioned earlier, they are a very resourceful creature, and sometimes they will take bread from like bird feeders and the like and use it to bait fish. They drop it in the water and wait for the fish to come and start eating the bread, and then they will gather the fish up instead, thus turning one small food resource into a larger, more renewable food resource. And this could be pointing to, again, are you making the fullest potential out of what you have at hand? Like having everything you need for the situation and realizing that, then are you using those things to their fullest potential to get the most out of them? Okay, as for dreams, as this is also dreams on Sunday as well, a dream of a gull with a fish in its mouth would denote that you are going to be receiving disappointing or bad news from far away. Okay, so that is already covered, really, with my own thoughts about being messengers from distant shores. Dreaming of a large goal will indicate there is spiritual growth and spiritual wisdom, or could also be that a long-held dream you have had is going to be coming true. Okay. Dreaming of a gull flying from one side of the sea to the other. This would denote that your travels will be safe and reasonably uneventful. Okay. I say reasonably uneventful with a little bit of because, well, sometimes you don't want your travels to be boring. Sometimes you want a bit of excitement. okay? But it means that it's going to be safe and no danger. Where am I now? Yeah, safe and right. A seagull, which, if you're dreaming of a seagull which is struggling to fly, this could be a warning that you may be coming to be dealing with a minor illness, but nothing too bad. Being attacked by a seagull in your dreams suggests that you are good at conserving your energy. But to kill the attacking seagull from your dreams means that you might be a little bit lazy and on the idle side. You've conserved enough energy and then you kill the seagull, which means you're then holding on to that conserved energy and not actually using it for anything. Okay, so that is my signs on Sunday. Obviously, this is going out as a premiere. I should really say this at the beginning. If you want to drop any comments or say anything in the live chat, feel free. I will be in the live chat to answer them. I will get back to your comments as quick as I possibly can. If you like this video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. That helps the algorithms get me seen by more people. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already joined my tarot team. If you didn't like this video, if you weren't happy with the sound quality or the lighting or just my topic I chose in general, well, there's a few ways around this. To start with, you can hit the thumb down button. It tells me that someone didn't like this video. It tells me that something might be a little bit wrong with it. Then in the comments, you can drop what was wrong with it, why you didn't like it, and that will help me address these issues. If you didn't like what I chose for this week's topic, well, you can have a say in that as well. Feel free to drop in the comments on any of my signs on Sundays what you would like to see. We are going through the alphabet again another 2 times. I had 3 categories for each letter of the alphabet. Obviously, I'm not going through each 3 like A, B, 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 C, C, C. I'm going through the alphabet and then through the alphabet again and through the alphabet again. So there is still about a year of this to go. Okay, I know. How terrible and devastating. Even more so for me. But anyway, so yeah. Feel free to drop in the comments what you might like to see. We're obviously getting to the end. We're now doing X. We've got Y and Z for the next couple of videos I do. And then we'll be dropping back onto A's. I'm just going to put you on pause for a second so I can give you some idea of what we need for A. So my 3 topics I normally choose are animals, mythical creatures, legendary creatures, things like that, and objects or things, okay? Because we can have and get signs about all these various different... You can get a sign about anything, okay? You can see your signs in various different places, back of cars, on their number plates, on the side of vans, billboards, over here, parts of conversations, dreams, and the like. So I've got I've got Y and Z to go. Obviously, I have all 3 still open for that. I haven't actually picked anything for any of them. I have got mythical creatures and objects for A. B, I have animals and mythical creatures. C, I have mythical creatures and objects. And D, I have... Oh no, C was animals and mythical creatures. D was mythical creatures and objects. And E is mythical creatures and objects as well. That should be enough to get you going. But if you have any other idea for any other letter in the alphabet, feel free to drop it in the comments. And I will pencil it into my list and then actually have a fair bit of notice to get working on the research on it to hopefully bring you a bit more of a detailed presentation. Okay, so... hope you all enjoyed this. Until the next time I catch you on one of my videos, I hope you have a fantastic week and adios.